My name is Colin Pyle and I'm 29 years old. I'm from Toronto. I went right from university into a finance background doing currency trading and found that a little bit boring, so I up and left and decided to ride a motorcycle around China. My brother and I decided the journey that we wanted to partake was to circumnavigate China. My brother has been in China for 10 years and seen most of what it has to offer, and he wanted to show me what China was really about. In the West, you really only see the busy cities and the chaos, but China has so much more to offer. I had a lot of fears. I'd never been outside of Canada for that long, let alone in China, on a motorcycle, on the world's most dangerous roads. To be honest, I wasn't a very experienced motorcycle rider before this trip, so that was a huge fear. Whether I could actually do it without killing myself was a big fear. It was a great adventure for me. The experience started day one. Leaving Shanghai, it got up to 42 degrees, humidity, riding through crazy dust and traffic. We had a lot of problems. Most days we had something go wrong. China's just so unpredictable. You just never know what you're going to run into. The biggest problem on the whole trip was dealing with the military and the police. They just didn't want us traveling around free, taking pictures and video of things all over. A lot of places we weren't allowed to go, or a lot of places we were worried about the consequences of actually being where we were. I probably felt a little bit more at times that my life was in danger. My brother being in China and being comfortable with how the military and police treat you, I think was a little bit more able to predict the outcomes better than I was. There was a road in Mongolia, on the border of China and Mongolia, that was closed off to foreigners that we decided to go on anyways. We disobeyed the military and continued to go on that road. Being stopped sort of 50 kilometers down the road was an interesting experience, because all the military there and the police are fully loaded with lots of guns and machinery, and often their finger on the trigger. My brother said, "Leave your helmet on, let me take care of it." So that was kind of the philosophy for the most of the trip, was my brother knows how to deal with these people, he's used to it, and I should just sort of keep quiet until asked. The terrain in China is vastly diverse. The deserts are fascinating to me. We came across giant sand dunes in the middle of western China that I had no idea existed. The mountains in western Tibet, and in Tibet, is just amazing. Riding up to Everest was one of the highlights of the trip by far. Everest Base Camp is just, it's a magical place, because not only did we get there, but we also had to backtrack to get there, because my brother's burnt out his clutch in western Tibet and we had to fix that in Lhasa. And we actually backtracked to Everest because we both said there's no way we're coming all this way and not going to Everest Base Camp. You know, waking up in the morning and looking out at Everest is a special feeling that I'll never forget. My brother and I are both very sort of driven people. We set out a goal to circumnavigate China. Very few people thought we could actually do it, and we didn't want to let anybody down. We didn't want to admit that it wasn't possible. It was absolutely more of an endurance test as opposed to a motorcycle test. I've never felt so isolated in my entire life. Some of the places we went in western China, there's nothing around you for hundreds of kilometers. That kind of isolation is just something that most people would never think possible in China. Every day we had to push ourselves and push each other to keep going and to finish. The last week or so was just, it's hard to express the feelings that you had because you're so tired. You're not really taking in what China has to offer because you're just exhausted and you just want to get back home. When we finally arrived, it was somewhat surreal. We were just so exhausted and so tired. We just looked at each other and be like, I can't believe we actually did it. But we're done, and I'm now going to bed. My brother Ryan and I were awarded a Guinness World Record for the longest continuous journey in one country on a motorcycle. I would love to continue to explore. Motivation is just new experiences. That's really what life is all about, I think, is just experiencing new things and seeing different places.